As we continue with the story of John the Baptist throughout the Gospels, today we continue in Luke chapter 3. And yesterday we looked at verses 1 through 6. Today I encourage you to look at verses 7 through 20 in your own Bible. And we have heard John already urge people to bear fruit worthy of repentance. And in Luke chapter 3 we get some specific examples, beginning in verses 10 and 11. And the crowds asked him, "What then should we do?" In reply he said to them, "Whoever has 2 coats must share with anyone who has none, and whoever has food must do likewise." And then there's further examples from tax collectors and soldiers. And as we think about John the Baptist and the importance of repentance, of changing our way of living, thinking, behaving, speaking, his question here in Luke 3, I think, is one that is good to keep in the forefront of our minds. What then should we do? What should I do? What should you do? And that's a question we can ask ourselves really every day. What should I do so that my life would share the love and grace and generosity of God just a little bit more today? How can I live a little closer to the center of God's will today? What changes might that mean for me? For example, when he talks about the person who has 2 coats must share with anyone who has none, many of us probably have way more than 2 coats. And one of the things that I find helpful is whenever I get a new article of clothing, if I get a new shirt or a new pair of pants or a new coat or something, then I try to give the same item, same type of thing, away so that I don't accumulate more and more that doesn't get used, and I can share out of my abundance. I can share what I have to hopefully help some people who may not have nearly as much or perhaps anything at all. So what should we do? That's the question that John's presence and preaching elicits in all different kinds of people. From tax collectors to soldiers, even to the scribes and the Pharisees. So another spiritual term for this is what we call self-examination. It's taking a look at our own life, our own behavior, and asking God to show us, where do we need to grow? Where do we need to mature? Where do we need to change how we're speaking, acting, interacting with other people? And it's a constant journey. It never ends as long as we live. It's kind of like being on a journey where you never arrive, but you're constantly on the road trying to be more like Jesus. And that's what John the Baptist is encouraging each and every one of us to do.